How to use the water gate. The water gate is without a doubt the most revolutionary tool ever developed to this day for all those who have to dam up or hold back small streams regularly. Now we will show you various installation methods adapted for 3 different types of stream. These demonstrations should help you better plan your interventions with the water gate. However, before proceeding with the first application in a real situation, be sure to carry out at least one preliminary test in order to control the water barrier installation rules very well. You will see the method is simple, and its complete installation will provide you with a maximum of effectiveness. Water barrier sections. Let's take the time to well identify the different sections of the water gate. The barrier is made up of 3 distinct sections. First, here's what we call the flap. This section spreads out to the back and becomes the barrier floor. Then we have the retaining walls, which once unfolded will become the water retaining structure. Finally, a float located at the top of the wall allows it to deploy progressively. Choice of barrier. First of all, you will notice a model number written on the barrier. The first number indicates the reservoir depth in inches, and the second number gives the length of the barrier in linear feet. In order to determine the length of the barrier you need, you must take special care in measuring the contour line of the landform, not the width of the stream. Don't forget to estimate as well the level the water reserve will reach at its full capacity. This approximate level will serve as a guide to help you to position the barrier. In fact, it is not recommended to center the water barrier. This precaution will greatly facilitate the dismantling of your installation once the work is finished. Sometimes you could have to secure the barrier ends. This situation may occur when you are confronted with a steep slope. Then it could be relevant to add pegs. Site preparation. Preparing the site where the water gate will be installed is fundamental, and you must use your whole mind to do so. This is all the more important as the rules that will be explained here are common to any good installation. Once the location is chosen, make sure to clear away a lane of about 2 feet on the full width of the stream. This zone will serve as the seat where the flap front will be positioned. Be sure there are no big rocks, long weeds, branches, or any other objects capable of creating a bump at the center of this lane. Then prepare a few rocks or aggregate bags. You'll use them as anchor weights to secure the flap. If you choose to use aggregate bags specially made for this application, you'll only have to fill them on site. A few shovelfuls of gravel taken from the sides of the stream will be enough to make an excellent weight. Be sure the barrier is facing the side where water will be coming in. To help you, use the arrows that are visible when the barrier is rolled up. You are now ready to roll out the water gate barrier. Low water flow, the small stream. First, roll out and place the barrier so that it will go beyond each side of the stream sufficiently. You will have to estimate your highest water level. Then, unfold the flap on the stream bottom and put down some rocks and aggregate bags to stabilize the barrier. Right after, slightly bury the flap edge with a shovel, starting from the middle of the stream. Then you continue to do so on the whole length of the barrier. It's essential that the flap can stick literally to the stream bottom to avoid water infiltration under the barrier. Here we're dealing with a very low water flow. It will become all the more important to seal the flap edge well. Otherwise, the inflow speed would greatly decrease. But if it's well done, the result comes rapidly. To allow the water to flow freely again, simply lift the flap corner closest to the reserve and let the water flow under the barrier. Average water flow, installation on a muddy bottom. The second installation will be done in an average stream with a rather muddy bottom. We will use model 2835, which offers a water depth of 28 inches and a length of 35 feet. As always, you must prepare the site properly. However, in this given case, we recommend an additional preparation of the site. Since the stream bottom is muddy, we suggest that you put big rocks down on its deepest bottom to create a solid relief. This is where the horizontal water drive is the strongest, not at the ends like we would be inclined to believe. If the current is not too strong, you can roll out the water gate directly over the water. After this, the best thing to do is to ask someone to go to the deepest part of the river to help you with the installation operations. Put down a few rocks on the floating section of the barrier. Then unfold the flap rapidly. Be careful not to let too much water flow under the barrier. These operations aim essentially at letting the water flow over the water gate to help you see what you're doing. This will also give you enough time to seal the flap well. As always, make sure you remove all the rocks and seaweed which could produce water infiltration under the flap edge. For maximum water tightness, it's recommended to bury the flap edge along its length. Finally, roll the rocks that are still on the floating section to the back of the barrier, and you will see that the wall section will deploy itself. Notice that the floor of the barrier will contour the rocks we put down earlier. By using this technique, you'll significantly increase the adherence of the barrier. If you see water coming over the barrier, we suggest you put rocks under the waterfall to avoid soil erosion under the barrier. Another way of removing the barrier consists of simply creating pockets of water under the flap. To do so, lift an extremity of the flap and push water under the barrier with rapid backward and forward motions. By doing this, you will immediately free the water body retained in the reserve. High water flow. Installation in a swift-flowing stream. This third installation will be made in a rocky and swift-flowing small stream. This type of stream usually produces a strong water flow that doesn't require an extreme water tightness of the flap to quickly get our reserve of water. Again, don't forget the golden rules for a good installation. Estimate the length of your barrier well. Clear the site well by making a lane of approximately 2 feet, and make sure you have an adequate supply of big rocks or aggregate bags to be used as anchor weights for the flap. We will use model 2130, which has a water holding capacity of 21 inches in height by 30 feet long. A simple glance at the printed arrows will show you the right position to make the installation. In view of the importance of the flow, we suggest that you roll out the barrier to one side of the stream before positioning it. Once the water gate is put in position, prepare to unfold the flap. Be careful, considering that we are confronted with a strong water flow, this stage requires rapid action. Make sure to maintain the flap edge at the bottom by immediately stepping on it. Then put the flap down on the rocks or the aggregate bags you have prepared in order to rapidly create weight. We recommend that you place these weights at every 2 feet directly on the flap edge. If necessary, remove rocks that could generate infiltration under the flap edge. You can take the opportunity to place them over the flap. This weight, combined with the weight of water, will allow the flap to merge into the stream bed, thus giving maximum water tightness. No longer need the water reserve? Remove the weights and lift the shortest end of the barrier and let the water seep under the flap. The balance of forces is broken, and the water will give away under the pressure of the water mass. Then it only remains for you to drain it and fold back. Maintenance. The water gate is made of very high-quality material. It's so strong, it only requires a minimum of care and servicing. For example, after each utilization, we suggest that you rinse the barrier to remove the accumulated dirt. Once cleaned well, you drain the barrier and let it dry. The way the water barrier is folded is very important to allow a perfect deployment. First, make sure you position all the retaining walls properly. To do this, a simple stick can be helpful. Begin by turning in a first third, starting from the back, followed by the second third. Be careful not to move the material on the float section because it would make the final roll thicker than necessary. Then fold back the flap in two and leave the edge apart from the float section. Now it only remains for you to lay the refolded flap down over the other sections before rolling up the barrier. Make sure that the indications for the water inflow are found at the top of the roll. Accessories. Always anxious to meet its customers' needs, MegaSecure keeps up with its research and development activities. MegaSecure offers wall hooks or stands to make the barrier's cleaning and drying easier in the horizontal position. A model allowing a vertical cleaning is also available. MegaSecure also offers a hopper, particularly appreciated during work requiring a draining operation. It can be positioned anywhere on the barrier and allows a flow rate of more than 750 gallons per minute. So this completes our presentation on how to use the water gate. It's very important to understand that all the techniques that have just been demonstrated are interchangeable, regardless the barrier model. Applying the suggested methods will ensure you maximum effectiveness.